episode of the Rewind with Besa on Converge Media, if I can speak correctly today. I have Koach T from Kutt'N'Up with me.
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh my goodness, this is so dope. And one of the things that I love about being on Q23.3 at this point in my life is that I have so many connections in the community from years and years ago. For those of you that don't know, I was on Kutt'N'Up for about a year, 0.5. I didn't make it much
Yes,
longer,
she
but I was there
was.
for a hot second. And it was when we were at Cleveland High School. I don't want to say the tryouts were at Cleveland, but they were at the Rainier Beach Community Center.
Yep.
So
Yep.
before we even get into that, let's back it up just a smidget. Let everybody
Okay.
know how Kutt'N'Up, the dance team, came about, like where the idea came from, when it got started. Like, let us know the tea.
All right. So I went to Renton. My best friend went to Cleveland. And after I graduated, Renton no longer wanted me to coach their dance team. And so I went to then help Dwayne Jackson at Cleveland coach the Cleveland dance team. Um, Long story short, that left Renton without a dance team. So all the Renton dancers came to dance with the Cleveland dance team because back then you could dance for another school if your school didn't offer that club or whatever.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, and so we did Bubbling Brown
Mm-hmm.
and in first place. And I think that's the year we did boxing. And after that, it just kept growing and growing. And so at some point I just took it out of the school. I took it out of Cleveland because it was called like the Renton Cleveland dance team. And I just took it out of the school and took it into the community center because we started getting interest from people at Franklin, people at Garfield, people from West Seattle High School. And so we was like, okay, like what we gonna do? And so
Exactly.
um, and on top of like always being kicked out of spaces, like always just being double booked. So when it came to like us or the wrestling team, us or basketball, us or football, us or cheer, they always had top priority because dance was not a priority back
That's
then.
messed up. And that does make sense because, like you said, dance wasn't a priority back then, but it's still
Yeah.
jacked up because nowadays everybody wants to be, oh, community this, community that. And it's like, but you didn't care about community in 2004. Now it's popular, but oh, all right.
Period. Period. And so at that moment, I was like, you know what? Like one day we got kicked out again, and we was practicing outside. Cleveland used to have like this bridge and this under walkway thing by the gym. And we was down there practicing. I was like, I'm so tired of this. And I went to Rainier Beach. I was like, um, can you guys offer me practice space? And they was like, if you teach a class. And so I started being like Rainier Beach's hip hop teacher, and it became Kutt'N'Up's home. And so yeah, after that, like we was literally like for like maybe 3 years straight just winning everything, maybe four, everything to the point where people stopped inviting us to compete.
To some people, it almost wasn't fair after a while, but I understood how they felt back then in terms of it not being fair. But to me, as a 31-year-old woman who was on Kutt'N'Up, winning some of those awards, it's like, just work harder.
Yeah, and that's what I did not understand about the whole thing because I'm like, they're high schoolers too, and I'm fresh out of high school. Like, we don't have any superpowers. We can't fly. We can't disappear. We can't walk through walls. We can't
Yeah, you
do
weren't like
none of
the
that.
30-year-old teacher, like teaching these high schoolers
Yeah.
like the absolute T. Like you were, like you said, you were like basically a college freshman with a dance team that was just fire.
Right. And
And
the
you're
thing
local.
is, like, we worked extremely hard, and people started to make it seem like I would go out and take the best dancers from every school. And I'm like, I've never recruited. And even back then, I'm like, there was people on Kutt'N'Up that could not dance. But what
That would
happens
be
is,
that would be me. But I mean,
But what happened is you get into these environments where you feel so loved and so supported and so unjudged, and it's able to open a part of people in general in those environments that they didn't even knew. Like, and that's what I tell everybody. Like, if you got a mustard seed size of hope and faith in yourself, like you can do almost anything.
No,
So
period. And I do remember, like, even during it was the first tryout, and you could kind of see that I was like in my head a bit. And even like Omari at Converge, he goes, whatever you're doing to make it to where you're not in your head right now, keep doing that. And so I still have a little bit of that now, but I do remember you telling me that back in the day. And I was watching your YouTube series that you have right now that we're going to get to in a second. And one of the things that you were saying to the dancers was like, look, even if you're not the best dancer and you have personality and you have a vibe, we can make this work.
Period. And that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe a year ago, Luther, who danced on Kutt'N'Up, he was like, as I'm an adult, what I realized is that back then you wasn't really teaching us technique. What you were teaching us is confidence to try anything. And that turned us into the dopest dance crew in Seattle because we were doing things that people would be like, wait, what? Like, I only seen somebody get threw up in the air on TV. You know what I'm saying? Or at cheer camp. You know what I'm saying? But this is a hip hop dance team, like really doing cheer stunts that we never were trained to do. Some of that stuff I would just dream about and go to practice and be like, y'all, we doing this today.
Maisha, we're gonna throw you in there and see what happens.
And y'all bet not drop her or we all doing push-ups.
Or we're all running laps around that little middle.
Right. And and we was just all for it. And so, that just goes to show you, like, with confidence, man, the world is yours.
It's literally your oyster. And I was thinking about that while I was getting ready. And I was like, that's probably one of the biggest things, or like my biggest takeaways from back then was like it obviously didn't work because it took me a minute to get to where I am right now, but I appreciated the confidence that you tried to instill in me. Yes. And I think more girls and more boys, especially like brown skin ones, really need that. And I think I love my parents, but if they would have like maybe pushed me a little bit more to actually practice when I was at home and like actually really try and like really go for it, I think I would have been better. But everybody just kind of let me do whatever I want, not in a bad way, but it was like I was never pushed to practice unless I came to practice. So I definitely appreciate you for that.
Thank you. All right, so look, real quick. So did you do Kutt'N'Up Academy with us when we performed in Tacoma?
No, I wasn't invited.
Yes, because you had the costume because you're in one of the photos where we wore the schoolgirl's costume.
Mm-hmm. I wore the schoolgirl costume. So is that what that was?
Yes.
That was the time that you guys had me mixed up with Tay-May. That was the day that you guys had me mixed up with Tay-May. And it was like at the end of the set, and we won that one.
Yes.
It was like we were on the ground, and then you were supposed to like have your legs a certain way, and her leg was a different way. And everyone was like, that's Janae. And I said, I know you lying. And that was how me and Tay-May started going by twin, because everybody would get us mixed up on camera.
That is funny. Yes, I remember that moment. I remember that. So, and I think that was like your last performance, and you were out of there.
No, my last performance was at a school. It was at a school. It was at a big gym, and I ended up jacking up my knee because I didn't stretch first.
Oh, okay.
I didn't stretch first, and then when we had the tryouts again, I had like this knee brace on, and I just couldn't do anything. Like I was limping around the whole time, and I was like, why am I even here? Why? I'll try, but why am I even here? I'm injured. Literally went around school for the rest of the year because my knee was jacked up for the whole damn year. So all worked out.
It's funny. That's so funny. But that is so funny because when you first got on radio, and of course you go by Besa, and I was like, and then I started seeing your face, and I was like, wait, that's Janae. And then I was telling people like, yo, the girl from Q93 used to dance on Kutt'N'Up, and they be like, Like nobody believes me. Nobody believes me, especially if they know you like from radio or know you from your social media. They do not believe you. They do not believe me. I mean, and I'll be like, okay,
Because
whatever.
I don't dance on social media. I don't really dance in public. Like, you don't really see me doing 1-2 steps until like recently. And I'm like, okay, I can do this little TikTok dance. I can do that. I can do that.
Oh, period. Yeah.
I can do the simple stuff. Although it takes me a minute to learn it, but I figure it out. I figure it
TikTok
out.
dances are not easy.
No, it's like the biggest workout in the world. Like sometimes TikTok dances, learning them is my workout.
Period. I've been in here a couple of times, like
especially the one, I forget which one that it was, but it was like and then you had to like go like that. Figuring that one out, like my arms were hurting for like 2.5 days doing all of this. I was like, yo, what is
I
this?
am weak.
No, that's what I do in my apartment because nobody's here but me. So I just 2 in the morning. I need my life. Now you have a YouTube channel now. You have one.
Yeah.
I saw one episode. Do you have two? Just one?
So it comes on every Thursday at 8 p.m. So episode 2 will be this Thursday, like tomorrow.
Okay. I really enjoyed this episode, and I'm not gonna front. I got a little bit emotional in the bathroom, but I didn't because we don't need puffy faces on freaking interviews. That ain't cute.
Okay.
But the reason why is because as I watched it, I was like, this gives me, what was it? Dancing Dolls, Koach T vibes or Koach D vibes. And I was like, this is like the beginning of a reality show for them.
I hope so.
Literally, like you have the practice, you have the what is it called? Like when they sit in the room, like you have the confessionals, and like you have like their honest opinions, and then like even watching the dances, you end up kind of having like your favorite dancers. My favorite was the girl with the little Afro puffs, and I was like, I like her.
Okay.
There's only one episode that I watched, and you're already, and like I don't remember her talking, but I just liked her vibe on the camera.
Yes.
And I'm kind of curious to know, like, what was your vision for that? Like, is it the vision of a reality show, or are you just really trying to make sure that people know about Kutt'N'Up because you know the internet is endless?
Right. So it started. So I was trying to do this maybe like 8 years ago. And so the first time I tried it, the videographer who shot all the footage, we shot for like a whole year. And he ended up having, this life moment, and he just up and moved to Atlanta and took all my footage with him. And I was literally reaching out to him for so long, and he never responded. I don't know what type of life moment he was in, but he just never, ever responded. And
not even a Google Drive link? Like, damn, sir.
Listen, and it's so crazy because honestly, he was a friend, before everything. And so after that, I see him now, and I love him dearly. Like if you watch this, you know who you are. I still love you. But I was so hurt. And so then I was over it, right? So then a couple years passed, and then Daryl Reese, he shot the next one. And he went to California, to Hollywood, and somebody broke into his car and stole all his camera equipment. And my footage was on the drive. And I was like, So back then it was I just wanted the world to see Kutt'N'Up. I just wanted, because the internet, 8 years ago, it wasn't what it is now. And so my ideals back then, and then I seen Dance Moms come out. I was like, okay, girl. And then I seen Bring It On, or Bring It with the Dancing Dolls come out. I was like, oh my gosh. And so FYI, before Dancing Dolls came out, I was approached to do a dance series.
Shut up.
Yeah, like Dance Moms, but they wanted a guy. They wanted a male teacher perspective. And so I had two, we didn't have Zoom back then. What else did we used to use for this kind of stuff? Skype. I had 2 Skype interviews, and I didn't have enough drama for them because back then drama was the go, you know, and so they was like trying to pull it out of me, and I was like, dang, I don't like me and my parents. We don't argue. They
Yeah.
respect me. I respect them, and I respect them because their kids have to respect them to be in my program.
Mhm.
So who would I be to disrespect them, but then look for the kids to respect them and even to respect me, disrespecting somebody they love? Like, so I'm like, and then the parents, I'm like, and they don't argue, they don't fight, like they got their stuff sometimes, but like that's just not what we're
It
built
was
on.
always like a family back in the day. Like it was
Yeah,
like a
yeah. And we
big family.
exactly. And so I went, so they were like, okay, well, we'll get back to you. And so then I called a meeting and I said, look, y'all, I said, we have this dope opportunity and our options are we could pretty much just stay true to who we are, or we could fake the drama. You know, I said, but with faking the drama, my fears is that it becomes real. And then
Mhm.
our program starts to diminish because of drama. And that was my biggest fear. And all the parents said, nah, we don't want that. It ain't worth it to us. And so they never called me back. And I kind of had a feeling that they wouldn't. But if my parents would have said, yo, let's do this, I would have then reached out to them and then created some type of scenario.
I feel like a lot of people from the PNW are kind of that way. And that's
Hmm.
why you don't see a lot of Seattle, Tacoma, Portland, whatever artist or just
Yes.
person on these type of shows, because it's like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't like you, because what's going to happen is you're going to say something that you really mean, and then you're going to try to be like, well, I was only saying, no, sis, you said that, I felt that, and
Period.
I'm not messing with you when the cameras are
Yes.
off. It was a
Yes.
joke. No, you
Yes.
knew that wasn't cool. You knew that wasn't cool. Or someone's going to purposely pull up something like that stuff, not even to like, this really isn't off topic, but you think about Safari and Erica Mena on Love and Hip Hop. He recently
Yeah.
got upset because he's like, this is fake drama, and now it's competing with his real life, and it's like
Yes.
problems. So I honestly
Yep.
commend you in doing that, because it definitely becomes real life over time.
Absolutely. And so then that happened, and I was like, dang, man, this is not meant to be. This is not meant to be. So then a couple years went by, and I was like, okay, I want to try it again. So then I tried it again, and then COVID hit. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot win for losing. So I know a lot of people don't know this, but all the footage that you see is pre-COVID. That's why we're not wearing masks. And yeah, so all this footage. And so I had a choice. I was like, okay, you got this footage. Let it go to waste or put it out. Put it out and just let people enjoy what was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's what I did. And then I put a teaser out, and someone who has a connect with Netflix hit me up because they follow us, and they were like, yo, that's dope. Like, let me help you create, like, package this so we can give it to people to see who's going to take it in. And so we did that. And Mona Scott, who is over Love and Hip Hop, actually looked at it and she loved it. But I was told that she's just done with reality TV. And she was like, if this was 3 years ago, this would be a thing for me. She was like, but I'm getting stuck in this idea of who I am, and I have to move out. I have to start doing something different. So she wants to start doing more like scripted work. And but I ain't mad at that because that's close. Like that was in the hands of someone important. And so now I guess it's just gonna be an issue of figuring out more people to show it to, investors and just somebody just saying like, yo, this got potential. Like, let's take this to the next level, and And if not, not. But if so, like I
You know
would
what I
be.
love about that? Mona doesn't like everything. Mona used to work with Missy Elliott. You know what I mean? So it's
That's
like for
her
her to
cousin, I think.
see it, is it?
I think.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I know at least they work together.
Right.
But my whole thing is for her to at least, although she knows that she's not really looking into like doing reality TV, that means someone's seen it and was like, girl, I know that you're not looking into this, but I still need you to see this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she took the
Yeah.
time to see it and really feel the vibe and be like, look, this is great. And for all you know, she could be putting little whispers in somebody else's ears because once she
That part.
sees it, it's in her
She
cranium.
sees
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not gonna get
Yeah.
it. And if somebody comes across her and they're like, oh yeah, we're looking for like another dancer. And she might be like, well, everybody's curious about Seattle right about now. I got something for you. Like you never know. Like you have that seed is now planted. You just got to like water it and grow it. And
Yeah.
I think with you guys doing this YouTube, like I said, it held my damn attention. And
Period.
with freaking TikTok and with, reels and like, with you guys being able to do your dances and, doing interviews and just making sure that people know about you. I think it's so amazing the route that you're going to make sure that your work is being seen, your team is being seen while still being authentically yourself rather than faking some funk.
Thank you. Thank you. That means so much. And so the response that we've gotten so far is all good. Okay, so did you have a highlight of episode 1?
Yeah, it was when you told those people to leave. I'm sorry. I know that you guys are probably great, but when I said that, I said, oh.
Coachable, meaning you are going to do what the director asks you to do, no matter if you feel uncomfortable or not, to get the job done. Now, that don't mean going to get you more than values. Sometimes it do. I'm going to keep it real with you in Hollywood. Sometimes that's what it means. But that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whether it's to keep dancing, whether it's to roll. Sometimes it's to cut your hair. Sometimes it's to wear contacts. Sometimes it's to lose some weight. Sometimes it's to gain weight. Thick is bad, honey. Thick is bad. So, being coachable, you are going to do what I asked you to do. You, thank you for auditioning, but you can leave my studio. Goodbye.
Listen, one of my pet peeves is repeating myself. So I say what I mean and I mean what I say. So once I say it, just do it. Simple.
And then you were like, I don't like having to repeat myself. I said, he don't.
Okay. And so
but he was over it.
that is the most talked about moment of episode 1 right now. Like that is filtering through the world of talk. And there have been people that has called me that knows me personally that is pissed off at me. Like, you don't do that. And I'm like, and then there has been people that called me and was like, yo, I'm so glad you showed that side of our lives, like especially old Kutt'N'Up dancers, because they're like, no, I've been sent home before. I've been sent out, and I love that you are being authentic to yourself, to your brand, to the to the whole process as we know it. Because the thing is, if you know Kutt'N'Up, if you've been on Kutt'N'Up and you watch this and you say, this is not how this goes. I've been there. I've been on there. I've watched him. Then it's not even going. I'm not even going to have my city to back me up if I'm selling something fake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was super real. And I think what people have to realize is that might have seemed harsh, but that was very mild. That was a very nice Koach T. I know some of y'all is mad, but he was very nice with that. He also said thank you. When you're on Kutt'N'Up, it's like, that wasn't good. You need to go home and also run some laps before you leave because you tried it and you didn't even practice. Why you wasting the time? You know what I mean? It's like, and I think
it gets real.
it gets real and like it gets really emotional. All of a sudden you're running laps because you didn't do a dance right. And all of a sudden it's like, you're not making this cut, but I still need you to work out and you need to go over there and figure it out. And it's like, people think like, I don't know if it's like an African-American thing, because I know white kids don't get that type of nice treatment. You know what I mean? They get the real. They're like bloody feet. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we as a people like to baby our kids, and it makes it to where it's like, we're trying to make you your best.
That's it.
I can't baby you and you be your best. Like,
that's it.
You want to beat everybody. So why would I sit here and act like what you did was good? That wasn't good.
It.
Do it again.
That's it. Period. That's it. You said it. So yeah, so that was the most talked about moment. I'm excited to see what people are talking about tomorrow. And I just want right now I just really want my city to rally behind us, like wholeheartedly. Like, if you know Kutt'N'Up, if you've seen Kutt'N'Up, if you've ever experienced Kutt'N'Up, or myself, I want you to share it. I want you to comment. I want you to give feedback. I want people to make reaction videos, like, because I want Seattle to do it for the culture. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people already don't feel like, I still go places in 2021 and people still say, Seattle got black people? Like, so.
The facts of it all, especially when you get on TikTok. What's it like for black people in Seattle? I live, I breathe, I eat, and I go to work. What do you mean?
Period. And now we have an opportunity with making the cut to promote it. Like, yeah, this is how we get down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can get down with the best of Atlanta. We can get down with the best of Florida. We can get down with the best of New York and LA. Like, what's up? And so, like, Kutt'N'Up is that, like, and Kutt'N'Up has always been a brand ambassador for Black Seattle. And I just want us as a whole, as a city, to rally behind us and push it and promote it and talk about it. And not just women either, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of our support is women. But I'm like, where's the homies at? Like, because at the end of the day, if Seattle gets through dance and through entertainment, like, then what happens when artists like, oh, Seattle got dancers? We can have auditions in Seattle. We can come to Seattle. And now you got local artists that gets to be on these mainstream stages if we all just promote each other. You still silent.
Oh, sorry. Speaking of mainstream stages, let's not forget that we've had some people in Kutt'N'Up go mainstream, like Cece. She was I think she was with Janet Jackson, or it was.
She danced with Sierra. Yes.
But somebody danced with Janet Jackson that was on
Makia, which is Cece's sister.
There you go.
And Cardi B, Missy Elliott, and Normani.
And that's all I'm saying. So it's not like
Attilio has done mainstream stuff. Run your
list. What have you created, Koach T?
So we got some kids out here that is like really doing their stuff. Like, we've had two dancers, Jada and Makia, like, travel overseas and do a tour in China. Like we said, Cece has and China. I have a dancer named China, has both performed at the halftime show with Sierra. Oh my gosh, like, we got some stuff. We've been some places. Like, Makia has danced with, like I said, Missy, Cardi, Normani, Janet Jackson. Attilio has worked as a main dancer for Universal Studios and Disney, I believe. And so we out here. I got one dancer right now that just got his master's in dance, and so he is literally doing a college dance tour, like traveling to different colleges and teaching contemporary dance, and he's from Kutt'N'Up.
And that's all I'm saying. Like,
so don't play with it.
Kutt'N'Up just really births greatness if the artist or the dancer really wants to go for it. Like, Even with me, like I said, I
I've been
don't
saying, and we got Besa on the radio. Come
on
on.
the radio in Seattle, Portland, and Fresno, living my best life.
Period. We got Ashanti Martin that's out here killing the fashion game. Like we out here, you know what I'm saying? Like
and a lot
it's
of us
awesome.
don't talk to each other.
Exactly.
Cameron.
So, and he's managing 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Tay May dance with Macklemore. Like we just cutting up some definitely amazing artists. Not even just in the dance industry, but just artists in general. Has really came from Kutt'N'Up. And even Luther Hughes, like he went to school for poetry and he is out here killing the poetry and writing game right now, like on different panels across the city and just doing his thing. So I'm proud of all of them. All of y'all who watch this, all of y'all is listening. If you've ever been a part of Kutt'N'Up, past, present, and future, y'all. Like I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for building this legacy that we are still building on.
I freaking love you too. Now, let me ask you something real quick. So you want everyone to do reactions, obviously watch, subscribe to the channel, let everyone know what the YouTube channel is that they can subscribe to.
The YouTube channel is Team Kutt'N'Up. And that's TEAMKUTTNUP. Right now we got our series out, only episode 1, called Making the Cut, which is about just the life of Kutt'N'Up, like what it takes to be a part of Kutt'N'Up and, you know, the hustle and the grind that it takes to make to the stage. So yeah, follow us on Instagram at Team Kutt'N'Up, Facebook, Kutt'N'Up, KUTTNUP. Our studio is called In the Cut Dance Studios, as you see on my shirt.
Wow. And also, real quick before I let you go, the studio. I just have to say congratulations.
Thank you so much.
When I saw that you had that, I was like, I was so pumped because I remember like that moment, like even like again watching Dancing Dolls when they had their studio. I was like, one day Koach T is gonna have a studio.
Period.
About that. And that was years ago. Here we are now. So I'm just so proud of you. Look, you have my support. You always have my support.
Period. Yo, thank you, Besa, so much for having me. I love you, boo. I'm so proud of you. You are doing your thing. And just keep doing it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out there, everybody that look like me, this beautiful melanin, keep grinding, y'all. It's our time.